in a much more, let's say, colorful way. We know the Israeli, not all of them, so-called Jews, they were so-called white Jews, own the sports teams. We know that's not something that's surprising or shocking. So here in America, when thousands of black children are killed, poisoned, uneducated, thousands, just so many people in our cities, and with these people owning these sports teams, football and basketball, okay, which is astronomically black in its financial stability, okay, because it's run by them recruiting blacks to play the game and to maintain the game, right? So when those parents and those children in our communities are killed, maimed, and murdered in large numbers, who have possibility of making these teams more money, which they've done for years, is that not a threat to society? That should be considered a bigger threat to society than ISIS is, because the financial gain is huge. It's so large that anytime a black child is injured, maimed, or uneducated, there should be a large news reporting on it. Just like Ben Wattenberg did with his people, the so-called white Jews, in the book Birth, Dearth. He said that white folks are not having enough children, and it's at their peril that they're not, which means at your peril, you're about to pass away. So we've got to see the murders, deaths, and the shootings in our lives just as perilous in our eyes, in our hearts, in our minds, our full capacity brain function, as that. Okay, the killings and murders and deaths just cannot go on as if, it's been going on so long, just gotta get used to it, we're numb to it, you see? Like football does, right beginning of the season, they ship that tycoon of an incident, of a bombing in a concert. It happens all the time. Every time it's something, they have to numb the people up with that, with the sympathy, empathy for the Israelis, because they're the ones who owns the teams now. And that's where that stuff comes from, overseas shipping, manufacturing, the money joined in with that, okay? So that functioning is there, just as the medicine is for the players and all of that, okay? So again, the football and basketball, when the athletes are injured, maimed, murdered, killed, then the media should be jumping out as if it's a horrendous things going on, because the people that have maintained the sport have given these people a wonderful, loving life in the deepest, most spiritual, religious way you can think of it. There's no other way you can see it. And a lot of sports reporters, former athletes, ignore that and will just say anything just to keep making that money. Say anything, and we can't hold it against them, because they're desperate for money and desperate for a pat on the back, which they were getting all their life from playing sports. A pat on the back. That's what they would always give them, a pat on the back. They loved it. That's what motivated athletes for all these years. Say something nice to me about me, and I'll do anything. You see? And we're seeing that between two people on television just the other night in basketball. We just saw that. They say something nice to me. If they can't handle, how would you attack another? I'm just not going to deal with that. But yeah, so that procedure, the functionality is intimately linked to the ongoing financial possibility of growth in their lives. The sports shows, everything, the amount of money they have, the contracts, anything that you can look at, the elitism, the commercials, the selling of it, it's all showing you how important. You should see how they're trying to sell sports and basketball now. It's like, all the intimacy with the cars and the animals and all of that. And yet when a black person is killed, murdered, man, it's as if it's nothing else taking place with somebody else. We got some, and that's the beauty of it. How ugly they are is the beauty that there are so many of us more coming that we take it for granted. Okay? So we have to stop taking our lives for granted. That next man up, because that's what it is. That's what people are looking for, their opportunity. And the death to some people is almost like, oh man, I get a shot now. It's so numbing to people wanting so much of the valueless of life that people are now numb to the possibility of nurturing one another. It's almost joke that you ask someone to nurture a huge person, 200-some pound person, as if they're an infant, because that's what's needed. That's what they need, tough love now. Okay, so sticking with that story, the people who have that information of who we are, what we contributed to society, to sports, ongoing sport, just in a beautiful, loving way, not in a harsh, oh, you owe me this way, just in respect for the life that somebody's give you, the money that you're making off this. How dare you look at it that way? It's because no one is saying anything, because they have committed themselves to a materialized world, which nothing is wrong with that. It's all about you making it work for you. Okay, but it also has the other side. When you ignore the plight of a person, your plight is going to be ignored as well. That's why people who quote sell out and enjoy selling out, you see, their plight is being ignored every time they want to. So the sellout activity in words is their emotional rescue. Most people say anything to sell out. It's their emotional rescue, their need for acceptance, because the people who are behind them pushing the pen have no respect for them. They've shown that, and so they have to come out and get some respect amongst the other people, because they know they're not getting respect. So they have to find respect somewhere, doing something. And this is that moment that they have to do it. Okay? So, again, it's always a problem when someone thousands of miles away is injured. And man, that's brutal. And we're right here in this country providing them with that, okay? With the sport, with the bodies, with the brain function, with the intelligence, with the financial return, resources, totally encapsulated in the participation of the people. So those so-called white Jews, media people, should be in their communities looking for the next opportunity to build that community, not just rip the person out of the community and leave the community as it is, because they know what it means to us. They know young men who try to build communities, and what are they doing? You see, they know what the athletes are trying to do and must do. And so they should be the leading people. The media, which they do own as well, should be the ones looking out for these communities. So these people, athletes that are coming out of these communities, can be protected, and their sports games will be justified in a way, in the human experience, in the nurture, instead of just getting the money, getting the people out of the community, and leaving that area with nothing. Okay? So we as a community have to start doing the jobs of having the children to recognize what they're going into, who they're dealing with, by uh, communicating to these people, the owners and the media, what it is we recognize. We see what's going on, so we are demanding more of ourselves, which is going to eliminate buffoonery from others, which we see is an issue with them. And we see now that more athletes are being reporters asking questions that the reporters' questions before, who just pure reporters not ever played, were asking ridiculously out of the line questions for so many years. Now we see the gap is closed when they were saying dumb jocks and all of that. You see, the reporters were only jealous because they didn't make the sports team, and most of them have that hint of jealousy in them. And it's too bad that they do. We're not holding it against them. It's just that life goes on through that, in that. Okay? So it's perilous and at our peril that we recognize the self-esteem, life function, liquid brain thought that become our bodies, mineral me, mine all, rocks, which the water flows over, speeds up the circulation. All right, Lightspeed brain function, carbon and copper spinning. You have to have the function of that communication happening based on that, and not just jump out of there every time there's something going on. And in Africa, again, they have turnover, and they never say there's a threat to society. Here in America, they just say starving people. They show the starving people in Africa for years. That's all they show. People in all of that. The wars that happen. But there's no threat to America on that. But every time the so-called Palestinians do a terror bomb, then Israel and the whole world is in peril now. Man, that's a crucial movie script that has been scripted very well. It's been played very well, and we can see what's going on. So, well, what about some changes?